The bustling studio of Loose Women hummed with anticipation as the audience settled into their seats, the bright lights casting a warm glow over the iconic orange sofas where the panelists Denise Welch, Nadia Sawalha, Jane Moore, and Kay Adams were already perched, chatting animatedly among themselves. Sir Michael Caine, the legendary actor known for his roles in classics like The Dark Knight and Alfie, made his grand entrance to thunderous applause, his signature gravelly voice greeting the crowd with a charming hello, darlings, as he adjusted his tailored suit and took his spot next to Denise, who flashed a mischievous smile that hinted at the storm brewing beneath her polished exterior. The show kicked off with Kay introducing Michael, recounting his illustrious career spanning over 6 decades, from his Oscar-winning performances to his recent retirement announcement, which had sent shockwaves through Hollywood, and Michael responded with his trademark wit, sharing anecdotes about working with Christopher Nolan and how he'd turned down roles that didn't excite him anymore, the audience laughing heartily at his self-deprecating humor about getting older and preferring a quiet life with his wife Shakira. But as the conversation shifted to more personal territory, Denise leaned in, her eyes sparkling with what seemed like genuine curiosity but carried an undercurrent of challenge, asking Michael about his views on modern feminism and how his portrayals of women in films like Educating Rita held up in today's #Me Too era, to which Michael chuckled and replied that he believed in equality but that some things were just good old-fashioned storytelling, setting a subtle tension in the air as the other panelists nodded along, trying to keep the vibe light. Denise pressed further, questioning whether his retirement was influenced by the changing industry landscape where older male actors were being called out for past behaviors, and Michael's expression hardened slightly, though he maintained his composure, explaining that his decision was purely personal, about spending time with family after a lifetime in the spotlight. But Denise interjected with a pointed remark about how convenient that timing was amid scandals rocking other veterans like him, her tone laced with sarcasm that made the audience gasp softly, sensing the shift from friendly banter to something edgier. Michael, ever the gentleman, tried to steer back with a joke about how he'd outlasted trends and fads, but Denise wasn't letting go, bringing up an old interview where he'd made comments about women in the workplace that she deemed outdated, quoting him verbatim and asking if he stood by them now, which prompted Michael to defend himself firmly, stating that context mattered and times had changed, but he wasn't about to apologize for every word from 50 years ago, his voice rising just a notch as the exchange intensified, the camera zooming in on their faces, capturing the flickering discomfort in Michael's eyes and the determined glint in Denise's. The other panelists attempted to mediate, with Nadia suggesting they move on to lighter topics like Michael's favorite co-stars, but the damage was done, the atmosphere thick with unspoken friction as commercials loomed, leaving viewers at home glued to their screens, wondering if this was scripted drama or a genuine clash of generations and ideologies on live television. As the segment resumed, Michael shared a story about his early days in theater, but Denise circled back, accusing him of dodging the real issues facing women in entertainment today, her passion evident from her own experiences with body image and mental health struggles that she'd openly discussed on the show before, and Michael countered by praising strong women like his wife and daughters, but insisted that not every conversation needed to be a battleground, his frustration bubbling as he gestured emphatically, the audience murmuring in a mix of support and surprise at the unfolding spectacle. Kay tried to wrap it up gracefully, but Denise's next question about whether Michael regretted any roles that objectified women pushed him over the edge, leading to a heated retort where he called her approach aggressive and unfair, standing up abruptly as if ready to leave, the studio falling into a stunned silence broken only by the producer's frantic signals off-camera, marking what would become one of the most talked-about moments in daytime TV history. Back from the break, the tension on the Loose Women set was palpable, with Michael Caine reseated but visibly irked, his usually affable demeanor replaced by a steely resolve as he sipped water and avoided direct eye contact with Denise Welch, who sat with her arms crossed, a defiant smirk playing on her lips as if relishing the controversy she'd ignited. Kay Adams, ever the professional host, attempted to defuse the situation by pivoting to Michael's new book, a memoir filled with behind-the-scenes tales from his storied career, and he obliged with a few entertaining stories about pranks on the set of Inception and his friendship with Sean Connery, drawing laughs from the audience and easing the mood momentarily. But Denise couldn't resist chiming in again, questioning the authenticity of such memoirs and whether they glossed over the less flattering aspects of a celebrity's life, implying that Michael's might be sanitized to protect his legacy. Michael responded with measured patience at first, explaining that honesty was key but some things were private. Yet as Denise probed deeper into his political views, referencing his past support for Brexit and how it alienated younger generations, the exchange heated up once more, with Michael defending his right to opinions formed over a lifetime of experience, his Cockney accent thickening with emotion as he argued that cancel culture was stifling free speech. The other panelists, Jane and Nadia, jumped in to share their perspectives, Jane agreeing partially with Michael on the importance of dialogue over division, while Nadia sided more with Denise on evolving societal norms, creating a lively but increasingly chaotic debate that had the audience applauding sporadically, unsure whom to root for in this unexpected showdown. Denise, drawing from her own battles with tabloid scrutiny and personal demons, accused Michael of being out of touch with the struggles of working-class women today, citing statistics on gender pay gaps in film that she claimed he contributed to by accepting roles in male-dominated stories, and Michael's rebuttal was sharp, pointing out his humble beginnings in post-war London and how he'd championed underdogs in films like The Cider House Rules. But the back-and-forth escalated when Denise brought up a controversial quote from his autobiography about marriage, twisting it to suggest misogyny, prompting Michael to slam his hand on the sofa armrest and declare, "This isn't an interview, it's an interrogation." The studio erupted in gasps, with producers whispering urgently into earpieces as Kay called for calm. But Denise fired back that tough questions were part of the job on Loose Women, where nothing was off-limits, her voice rising to match Michael's intensity, turning what started as a promotional appearance into a full-blown verbal sparring match. Michael, feeling cornered, recounted his respect for women in the industry, naming icons like Maggie Smith and Judi Dench as inspirations, but Denise dismissed it as lip service, pressing on about accountability for past actions in light of movements like Time's Up, which only fueled Michael's indignation as he accused her of ambushing him for ratings, his face reddening under the studio lights. The segment dragged on longer than planned, with interruptions from commercials failing to cool things down, and as the discussion veered into personal territory about Michael's family life, he warned Denise to tread carefully, his tone laced with warning that hinted at boundaries crossed, while she retorted that public figures like him invited scrutiny by stepping into the spotlight. Finally, as the argument reached a fever pitch over differing views on mental health advocacy, Denise sharing her bipolar disorder journey and challenging Michael on his silence about similar issues in Mina, he stood up again, muttering under his breath about the show's lack of hospitality, the audience buzzing with excitement and shock as the cameras captured every dramatic moment, setting social media ablaze with clips and memes even before the episode ended. As the fiery exchange between Michael Caine and Denise Welch continued to unfold on Loose Women, the atmosphere in the studio grew electric, with the audience leaning forward in their seats, phones discreetly recording the drama as Kay Adams desperately tried to steer the conversation back to neutral ground by asking about Michael's favorite films to rewatch. But Michael, still smarting from the previous barbs, responded curtly, listing classics like Casablanca without his usual enthusiasm, his eyes darting to Denise, who was scribbling notes on her cue cards, preparing her next volley. Denise seized the moment to pivot to Hollywood's ageism, questioning why actors like Michael could work into their 90s while women faced scrutiny much earlier, citing examples like Meryl Streep's struggles, and Michael countered that talent transcended age, but admitted the industry was flawed, though he refused to take personal blame, his voice booming across the set as he emphasized his advocacy for diverse casting in later projects. The debate intensified when Denise referenced a past scandal involving a co-star from one of Michael's films, implying complicity in a toxic environment, which Michael vehemently denied, calling it baseless gossip and demanding evidence, his frustration evident as he shifted uncomfortably on the sofa, the other panelists exchanging worried glances. Nadia attempted to lighten the mood with a joke about Michael's Batman voice, but it fell flat amid the tension, and Jane supported Michael by sharing her own experiences interviewing celebrities, suggesting that respect should be mutual, but Denise waved it off, insisting that as a loose woman, her role was to challenge the status quo, her passion for feminism and equality driving her to push buttons that others might avoid. Michael's retort was swift, accusing the show of sensationalism over substance, reminiscing about more civil interviews in his heyday with hosts like Parkinson, which only provoked Denise to defend modern media as more accountable, leading to a rapid-fire exchange of words where insults flew subtly at Michael calling her relentless and Denise labeling him defensive via the audience alternating between cheers and boos, creating a circus-like vibe. As commercials interrupted yet again, off-air whispers revealed producers debating whether to cut the segment short, but upon return, the clash resumed with Denise questioning Michael's knighthood and what it represented in a post-colonial world. A topic that hit a nerve as Michael proudly defended his honors earned through charity work and contributions to British cinema. His anecdotes about meeting the Queen met with Denise's skepticism about monarchy relevance today. The argument spiraled into broader societal issues, from class divides to celebrity privilege, with Michael drawing on his working-class roots to argue for meritocracy, while Denise highlighted systemic barriers she faced as a northern actress. Their voices overlapping in a cacophony that had Kay shouting for order, the camera operators zooming in on sweat beads on Michael's forehead and Denise's flushed cheeks. In a pivotal moment, Michael accused Denise of personal vendetta, perhaps stemming from her known feuds with other stars, which she denied vehemently, turning the tables by asking about his own rumored on-set tempers, escalating to the point where expletives nearly slipped, bleeped out in post-production but felt in the raw energy of the live broadcast. The panelists' attempts to mediate only added fuel, with opinions splitting the group, and as the clock ticked toward the end, Michael's patience wore thin, hinting at walking off if the ambush continued. The viewers at home tweeting furiously about the iconic showdown that blurred lines between entertainment and confrontation. The climax of the Loose Women episode featuring Michael Caine and Denise Welch arrived like a thunderclap, with the argument reaching boiling point as Denise delved into Michael's comments on social media about youth culture, calling them patronizing, and Michael firing back that experience trumped fleeting trends. His hands gesturing wildly as if conducting an orchestra of indignation, the audience now fully invested in the spectacle, some chanting Michael, Michael, while others sided with Denise's bold stance. Kay Adams, sensing the derailment, interjected with a plea for civility, reminding everyone that Loose Women was about open discussion, not division, but her words were drowned out by Denise's passionate monologue on empowerment, drawing parallels to her own life post-divorce and sobriety, challenging Michael to reflect on how his generation's attitudes hindered progress, to which he responded with a heartfelt admission of learning from his grandchildren but refused to be lectured on air. The exchange turned personal when Denise mentioned a viral clip from Michael's party where she performed, jokingly asking if he regretted inviting her now, and Michael's laugh was forced, masking annoyance as he quipped that entertainment should stay fun, not turn into therapy sessions. But Denise pressed on about mental health stigma, sharing vulnerable stories that humanized her but put Michael on the defensive about his privacy. Nadia and Jane tried bridging gaps, Nadia agreeing on vulnerability's importance while Jane defended Michael's right to boundaries, but the core duo remained locked in verbal combat, with Michael accusing the show of bias toward controversy and Denise retorting that truth hurts sometimes, their body language speaking volume as Michael leaning away, Denise forward aggressively. As the debate looped back to feminism, Michael expressed admiration for trailblazers but criticized what he saw as overzealous activism, sparking Denise to list inequalities in pay and roles, statistics flying as Michael questioned sources, the pace quickening into a debate tournament style that had producers sweating over potential lawsuits or backlash. In a heated peak, Michael stood up, declaring, "I've had enough of this nonsense," his voice echoing as he adjusted his microphone, the audience gasping in unison while Denise smirked, challenging him to stay and finish the conversation like a true gent. But Michael's retort was cutting, calling her tactics bullying disguised as journalism, prompting Kay to call for an unscheduled break, the screen fading to ads amid chaos. Upon return, the tension hadn't subsided. Michael remained standing, insisting on respect or departure, while Denise apologized half-heartedly for any offense but stood by her questions, the other panelists urging reconciliation, but Michael's pride won out as he removed his mic pack, muttering about never returning. The studio in pandemonium with applause and boos clashing. The moment went viral instantly, clips circulating of Michael's dramatic exit, Denise's unyielding gaze, and the panel's stunned reactions, sparking debates online about celebrity interviews, generational clashes, and the fine line between probing and provoking on daytime TV. In the aftermath of Michael Caine's stormy departure from Loose Women following his clash with Denise Welch, the studio descended into a whirlwind of reactions, with Kay Adams addressing the camera directly to apologize for the heated turn, assuring viewers that passions ran high but respect was key, while the audience buzzed with excited whispers, some cheering Denise's fearlessness and others lamenting the loss of Michael's presence. Off-camera, producers scrambled to fill the remaining airtime, pivoting to lighter segments on fashion and recipes, but the elephant in the room loomed large as Nadia and Jane discussed the incident briefly, Nadia praising open dialogue and Jane expressing regret over the escalation, Denise chiming in defiantly that important topics deserved airtime, her composure intact despite the drama. Social media exploded with hashtags like #Caine vs Welch trending worldwide, fans dividing into camps: Team Michael lauding his class and exit, Team Denise hailing her as a truth-teller unafraid of icons, memes flooding timelines with edited clips of Michael's Batman voiceover on the argument, and celebrities weighing in, from Piers Morgan calling it TV gold to Sharon Osbourne defending Denise's style. Michael, reportedly fuming in his dressing room before leaving the building, issued a statement later via his publicist, expressing disappointment in the show's direction but wishing the panel well, emphasizing his love for honest chats but not ambushes, while Denise took to her own X account to clarify her intentions, stating she admired Michael but believed in accountability, her post garnering thousands of likes and retweets amid the frenzy. The episode's ratings skyrocketed, becoming Loose Women's most watched in years, prompting ITV executives to celebrate the buzz while navigating complaints from viewers who found it disrespectful, leading to internal reviews on guest handling. Analysts dissected the cultural implications, from ageism in media to feminism's role in entertainment, with articles in The Guardian and Daily Mail debating if such clashes boosted or harmed daytime TV's reputation. Michael's legacy remaining intact as fans rallied with tributes to his films, while Denise's profile soared, booking more gigs off the controversy. Reflections from insiders revealed pre-show tensions, with Michael's team wary of the panel's reputation for tough questions, and Denise's preparation evident in her pointed queries, the incident sparking broader conversations about celebrity vulnerability on live shows.